I got some bad news for you. You flew too close to the sun. You got too cocky. You thought you were so big. You thought you were so tough. And you're thinking that you can get away with it. You're thinking that you can cross me. Why? Why, Sinix? Why do you insult my dog? Ask him. You insult me? You insult my dog? We've had enough. First of all, you're off to a bad start already, alright? But I can let that slide, Sinix. I can let it slide, baby. But what you're doing to these students, what you're doing to the people that watch your videos is wrong. When you look at me, don't look at me. Don't you ever look at me when I say not to. Look at me. I'm gonna say it slow. I'm gonna say it soft. You don't do art good. You don't know hands good. All right, and we're gonna break that down today, people. All right, come on, let's go. All right, this is what we're gonna be going over today. Sinix has made his hands right here, but I'm gonna be showing you that what he's saying, you don't have to do. His model of thought is that you just gotta draw a lot of hands. You gotta just do all these different, look at all these angles that this guy's doing. The main lesson that all of this is gonna revolve around, do not think, don't you think for a second, that you have to draw hands from every freaking angle. What you're saying is, I wanna learn how to draw hands. But then what you need to realize is, you need to draw hand. What do I mean by that? Whenever I first started drawing hands, I thought, oh my God, there's just so many ways to do it. And here's the problem, I wasn't thinking simply. Already, you're cutting your workload in half. You're cutting your mentality, the mental strain of having to draw the right and left hand and all these different angles. You're cutting that in half. That's a big part of the struggle with drawing hands, is that people get overwhelmed with all of the different ways that you can draw hands. Well, I've already helped you split that to 50%. Okay, and we're gonna even make it even smaller, all right? So pay attention. I'm gonna be showing you examples of professional illustrators, professional artists, cutting their workload from like 100% to 50%, all the way down to like 10%. That means you think you have to do 100% of drawing hands from every angle and learning all of how the hand works and this and that and all the freaking muscles. You don't. You need 10%. However, here's a disclaimer. If you want to be the hand man or the hand woman, the person that, people look at an illustration and they're like, that's the hand guy, that's the hand girl, the person who always draws hands crazy. This isn't going to apply to you as much. Okay, let's say you look at popular Instagram art. Typically, they're not hand guys. They are character focused, facial expressions focused, mood focused. The story is what matters. The character in the story is what matters. 90% of the artists that you're looking at most likely don't draw hands that crazy. The point is, if you want to learn how to draw hands very, very well, you're gonna have to dive into all the different angles and this and that. But if you want to draw hands on a level of where most pros are actually drawing their hands, then just check it out, all right? Anytime that you want to do anything on a pro level, like I always say, you have to dive into professionals' work. All right, here's a really good example. Ramon, amazing artist. All right, let's just see what he does. At first glance, whoa, look at these hands. Wow, it's looking crazy. There's an up shot, there's a down shot right here looking up. All these different angles, all these different types of hands doing different things. Well, let me get you learned. All right, I'm sure by this point, you can already see what's going on here, right? Ramon is a liar, a cheater. The guy is drawing the exact same hands. Remember what I was talking about with the hands right and left? You're only drawing one hand, and typically, as an illustrator, you're gonna be drawing the same hand over and over. So don't get overwhelmed with all of this, like all the different angles. If you want to be like these people, these guys, these girls drawing these amazing illustrations, they're not gonna be doing all these crazy things. Again, if you're the hand man, if you're the hand woman, you need to study those angles. But for the most part, these characters that Ramon is drawing, they're doing stuff with their hands, people. They're holding books, they're holding chopsticks, they're holding pencils. Those are the things that you need to focus on and study, because that's all you need to do, baby. That's as far as you need to go. Oh, there we go. I cannot believe I didn't think of that sooner. Had Mike. All right, moving on to Manny. Everybody should know who Manny is. Again, let's take a look at these hands. They're all doing crazy stuff. Look at all these, wow, look at all these characters with these different hands. You mean I have to study every single angle and all of these different, how the hands work? Oh, it's just daunting, isn't it? No, it's not daunting. Look at them. These are all of those hands, the ones that fit my narrative, and they're mainly of the same angle. So you're thinking this is a different hand than this. It's not. All right, if you want to be like these rock stars, then you go look at their work and study the limitations that they put on their hands. How far do they take it? You don't got to go any further, baby. Okay, I'm gonna point out a little bit of my work right here. These are some of my characters. There's a lot to work on here, okay? I'm not simplifying enough. Again, I'm still using the same hands. And even then, I didn't realize I was drawing the same hands, and I thought I had to redraw and rethink every single one. But you don't. If you think that I drew both of these hands separately, dead wrong, baby. I drew one and then flipped it and then changed it up a little bit because I already had my structure, I already had the foundation. All right, now we're gonna be taking this information and we're gonna be breaking down some of Sinix's work here, the hands that I showed you a second ago. I want to know where this guy is, his headspace is at. I want to know what he's thinking, what's bringing him to these decisions. All right, you're already messing up a little bit. You don't have any color, but we're gonna let it slide. Now, again, you're hurting children. You're hurting kids. I can't let this one slide. I won't let this one slide. You're drawing the bones. You're drawing the tendons. Too much. Too much for...
Telling you guidelines are bad. Line confidence is king. I give my strong opinion on guidelines being terrible, but I know that there are. But if you want to be an effective learner, you need to always keep in mind that there are many answers to every question.
Wrong, Sinix. That's where you're wrong. There's only one answer to all the art, okay? That's me. That's me. I'm gonna ask you a question, okay? Do you play guitar? Do you play keyboards? Do you smoke a Japanese cigarette? Do you have 5+ years of experience in the animation and gaming industry? You don't know hands good. You don't know drawing good, but it's okay, because I'm here now, and I'm gonna teach you, all right? Come on. All right, now that we looked at our reference, we're gonna actually be going in here and breaking down your hands. Let's break Sinix's hands. Here we go.
I live in the US. I get into it.
I don't know what land you're living in. Fairy tale land. Okay, already looking at this, he's doing all of these angles, but if I had to break it down, if I had to simplify it, this is how I'd do it. All right, if you watch my recent video, I talk about the favored sided triangle, because everything can be constructed off of this, and you know what? Sinix even realizes it. Look at Sinix doing it. Oh, he's so grown up. He's so silly willy that he doesn't even realize what he's using. It's a sided favored triangle. All right, so at this point, I'm not trying to make these drawings better. What I'm trying to do is point out to you, a student, how you can better understand these shapes. What this favored sided triangle is a decision. You're making a decision on a straight line and a curved line. Let's see how that works with these hands. Straight line. All right, look at the bottom of this finger. It's the curve. And look, even right here. Right here, I know this looks like a bump, but it's a straight. It's two straights connecting. The bottom of the finger, the fat, where the fat is on the palm of your hand, on these fingers, it's gonna poof out. But right here, I'm studying, all right? Study. Okay, the palm, it's coming out right here. Even right here, it's coming out right there. We're just gonna make that a straight. It's all about simplifying. Even right here, okay, there's not technically a bump right here. Okay, you're looking at this, you're like, oh, it's a straight. But if you wanna simplify it, if you wanna simplify the shape for clarity, I'm gonna add the bump. The reason that this is important is because you can tell which way the finger's facing. This might not be the final illustration of this big bump on the finger. The reason that you're doing this is so you are deciding which way the finger turns, where to emphasize. You can clean it up later. You can do all that crap later. All right, so as you can see, I'm copying and pasting, I'm like duplicating this triangle shape over these fingers. That doesn't mean you need to do it. I'm just trying to point out that it's the same shape over and over and over again. So if you go into the reference that I had before, these Ramon and Manny, if I had to guess, 90% of the hands that they draw are extremely similar to one another. Again, you don't have to go any further than that. All right, here's an old illustration that I did. Check it out. It looks like it's so much detail, but really it's not. It's just a bunch of triangles being produced over and over and over. It's not only in fingers, it's in body shapes, it's in the way the face is shaped, everything. All right, here's a study that I really want you guys to do. It's not a reference challenge, but if you want to tag it as reference challenge, you still can. If you want to be the hand man, if you want to be the hand woman, you go into these crazy looking drawings or just get actual photos of hands, take photos of your hands, and just figure out where they're putting the emphasis, where the straights are, where the curves are. It'll get you in that mindset of simplifying things, because it looks complicated, but it's really not that complicated. The hand directions, the way the fingers are fanned, are still falling in a 3-point shape. The fingers aren't going out in random directions, they're falling back into place with each other, and you can really study that by doing these triangles. All right, but that's a whole video in itself, and I'll maybe jump into that more later. All right, Sinix, I've never done this before, but I got some bad news for you. You flew too close to the sun. You got too cocky. You thought you were so big. You thought you were so tough. Always walking around, talking. And you're thinking that you can get away with it. You're thinking that you can cross me. You may have been big boy. You may have been king, but baby, new kid on the block. I've got you on a string, you're in my hands now. Boys are back in town, baby. You don't insult me. You don't insult my dog. Don't you ever! I've been letting it slide for too long. This one's not getting a pass. Me and you, Anaheim IHOP, you know the one. Parking lot. February 22nd. Let's go. Boom!
Audiojungle.